I don't think we give credit to Return by Death enough. And what I mean is we definitely give it credit for what it pushes Subaru through, but the amount of just different viewpoints we get to see characters from. I mean, just look at Garf as a character. Every reset we've seen him at a different point of view, as if he's a completely different person, but really we're just getting to see all these side characters as if they are the main character, just in a non-linear fashion. As with Subaru, you understand 100% why he's thinking or feeling something because we see everything from his exact perspective. But by returning by death countless times over, and especially in many situations like the Sanctuary, being countless resets and almost as if every time we reset we see them as a new person, it lets us experience every single character as if they are the main character, just without the linear package to back it, but rather we're seeing things as if we're at chapter 9 and now we're at chapter 3, now we're at the end of the chapter and we're like, I don't even know what's happening. But as you eventually get going, you start making sense a lot more, and all those previous chapters start lining up as if it's a full, complete package. And that's amazing. Return by Death did something in this episode that has my mind racing, and I don't know where exactly we're going to go from here, because it starts off on the worst case and kind of ends on the best case, especially considering that this time after the trial, everything's going a lot more smoothly. Amelia's not too broken. Garf isn't trying to slit his throat. I mean, you got now minions of lollicopies. I mean, this man pretty much hasn't made for a reset, at least as of right now. But the first 5 minutes of this episode definitely had you spooked. That's the best way to put it. I know a lot of people are going to say Satalia, the witch, is Amelia, because her facial features, her body structure, it looks as if the witch almost inhabited Amelia in order to come to this world. And even though that probably is a very likely scenario, I want to say that's a red herring. I feel like a lot of people are saying just because she looks the part, that it means that 100% Amelia has to be it. But it almost feels to me, with the whole I love you and love me lines that she keeps throwing his way, it almost as if she's taking the form of someone that she knows that he loves in order to get the love from Subaru. And maybe she did possess her, or maybe that's just the form she took, or maybe that's her natural appearance. It's hard to say, but the resemblance is uncanny, 100%. They definitely look like the same person, if not they are the same person, but it almost feels to me like the author is setting up as a red herring, as if it wants you to believe that maybe Amelia isn't to be trusted, but really, this is all part of a bigger picture that we don't understand yet. But that's just my theories and assumptions as of right now, and I know a lot of people are probably going to be talking about it, so I thought I should throw my hat into the ring and see where people think that's going to go. I actually really like how this might be the most uncomfortable death that Subaru has experienced, because it was an endless loop. The bunnies is still the most gruesome, don't get me wrong, but had Ekidana not blessed that handkerchief, he would have been in an endless loop of love me, I love you, and he wouldn't have been able to do anything as he basically experiences all the victims of this witch and all their memories. And that's a really interesting piece of development, because I think everyone was thinking that something really bad was going to happen to Petra, because when you take something that was given to him by someone that's close, it's like something bad's got to happen, and something bad still could happen. But it's an interesting turn of events that this witch knows so much that she knew that she had to give Subaru a way to kill himself, because he's going to experience something worse than death. And I think the reason that happened is because he was able to tell her that I can return by death. And everyone and their mother was like, something bad's got to happen. If he got away with saying I can return by death, even to someone who's seemingly immortal alongside him, something bad's going to happen. I think that's why she was able to bless that, because she knew, when you get out of here, you're going to be in for a very rude awakening. I need to give you a way that you could kill yourself. And the idea that the handkerchief was like cursed or blessed, however you want to look at it, so he could stab himself, that was something that was really interesting in place with previous development from prior episodes. But I don't think any of us probably assumed that when he woke up, the people that were engulfed by these shadows were going to be there, because it almost feels like when you get consumed by her shadows, it's all over. It's going to be something like the whale. And it's interesting because you don't know exactly why certain things are happening. Was she not at full power? Is it because of the curse and the blessings from the witches? And it's like, I don't know. I think Re:Zero is doing a great job at exploring things at a very steady pace, making it feel like things are always happening. I mean, look at this 26-minute episode. You pretty much just have non-stop info, but it feels like we're constantly being like, that's what this means, and oh, this is what that means. Like, what's the point of the bodily fluid tea? And it's like, oh, Apostle of Greed, and you're like, okay, you got Sloth and now you got Greed going for you. And apparently that lets you control the copies of basically an immortal experiment where it's so interesting that there's so much happening and it feels like we still haven't even scratched the surface of Sanctuary. And that's what's interesting, because the whole idea of the copy system and how it feels like one of the big reason that Ekidana was so fascinated by Subaru is they're almost like kindred souls, because they both have an immortal kind of tying them to just the plane of existence. And it's interesting that because of that basically exchange, he now has the ability to control Ryuzu's. And I like that because it makes sense, because we saw so many things when we first entered Sanctuary, like there was a girl and it's like, oh, why did you help me? And she's kind of being oblivious to it, and you're like, what's going on here? And now it feels like there's this endless sea of copies, and it's like there's so much room for that, and I honestly don't know where they want to take it going forward, and that's a really impressive thing to me. Because it feels as if ReZero is continuing to extend the momentum, and by the time we reach the end of the first core, we're going to have seen a lot, but at the same time, we're going to be dying for winter to come around, because the second core is probably going to make this stuff look pretty basic in comparison. And even if it doesn't, you know it's going to find its own unique ways to be exhilarating and exciting. And I think a lot of those people who used to say Return by Death makes ReZero formulaic in Season 1, I don't think those people are going to be around anymore, because it's very clear that Return by Death isn't a way to just rehash the same ideas. It's a way to explore every single character in this very hefty cast of characters and be able to see things from all their perspectives without it feeling just like, I'm side character, you're main character. Here's my backstory, this is why I'm an important character, but rather, Subaru has to interact with literally everything and everyone, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and it's why those moments where Amelia comforts him after he comes through, after seeing a witch who looks like Amelia who terrified him beyond belief, he's shaken and feared and doesn't know what to do because this is the person he loves, and he's terrified of her, and she just gives him the comfort that he needs. It's nice to have those moments. It's nice to have those moments where you can talk with someone who you thought was going to stab you in the back and turned out to just be an army of lollies, basically. It's nice that this show understands that it needs to explore these themes and moments, and it's great that the moments with Garfield, and just, you don't know, like, why is he okay with him this time? Is it like because he got consumed by the witch? Is the scent a little weaker? You don't know, and what the hell did he say to him at the end that he called him out and was able to test him and gain a level of trust that he's never had with him? Like, it just feels like things are going too smoothly, but at the same time, it feels like maybe it's not smooth enough, because he's able to keep people happy this time around. He's able to have everyone kind of follow his word, and he took his past experiences. Hell, he took experiences that weren't even his own to unlock a cave because he was able to share those memories somehow or another, which it kind of makes sense, especially considering that she loves this man so much that maybe they merged in some weird way. Maybe it has to do with the whole Apostle of Greed. It's hard to say. That would actually kind of make sense, Apostle of Greed, if you had some sort of greed power that you could share memories. I don't know, but that seemingly is what happened according to Subaru, so it'll be interesting to see if that's something he can control or if it's something that he can only have happen when he's around witches. Hard to say, really, but I'm excited to see what they're gonna do, because it doesn't feel like this is gonna be the last time he dies for the Sanctuary, and I don't know if he's gonna get a new save point either, because if he does die, I don't know what they could do for this current setting to make it interesting again, because we ended with the witch consuming, and now things are kind of okay, so I kind of hope that he's able to establish a system where he gets another save point before assassins come to the mansion, or the witch consumes the world, or something like that, but still, it's not the last we've seen of either Ekidana or Satalia, but it's hard to say where they're going to go next, but I mean, there was a lot of development. There was a lot of moments where it just felt Subaru was at his absolute breaking point, and you end the episode with Beatrice seemingly almost like ready to die, it feels like, and you don't know where you're going to go from here, and that's why ReZero is a masterpiece. It just feels like there's constantly 10 out of 10 episodes back to back, the voice actors completely crushing it in every department, not even just Subaru's, the entire cast is delivering, and just the simple moments like how you have one of the copies saying, ask me the same question tomorrow. What is tomorrow? And that this author, he knows how to make you feel like, oh, I understand what's happening, and now you threw me another, hey, ask me this tomorrow. And it's like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I love this series. It's definitely one of my favorite anime of all time, without a doubt. I was pretty sure of that with season 1, but I was like, I'm going to hold off, because you never know if you're getting another season. You never know if this next season's going to hold the same quality, because even if the source material is great, it doesn't mean the anime will be. But White Fox continuing hitting it out of the park and delivering 10 out of 10 episodes back to back. Theories and speculations, what do you think of everything that transpired? And do you think this is going to be the last time he's going to die at Sanctuary for this save point, or do you think he's going to get a new one? Do let me know. If you enjoyed the video, of course, leave a like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button if you have been new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.